Grandmaster Palatnik wrote a series of free books called The Chess GPS. This is volume 2, Your Move, Your Choice. Practically, Palatnik says you should not try to find the best move, which is a little absurd because you will not find it. Instead, you should have a selection of moves and find the one that most suits you. So, without further ado, I honestly just got these books to watch Palatnik games because they are all played in US practically, or most of them, and it's kind of entertaining to see how he slaughters amateurs after amateurs in these weekend tournaments. So I think it's interesting for that, honestly. So we have a game Andrews against Palatnik. It was played in Nashville in 1997. Here it says, since I took part in the chess education of my talented opponent, I think I have a right to discuss the shortcomings of this play. In this game, which requires some work, in chess you should not make it your main goal to earn a few cents in the tournament. While having this goal in mind might give you a chance to get on your feet, but it makes your play excessively mundane. Your imagination grows dull and deep penetration into the secret of a chess position becomes increasingly scarce. White did not make serious mistakes, but his understanding of the game can be said to be rather cynical. Although this approach can work quite effectively for earning rating points and dollars in games against poorly prepared opponents, in this game that strategy did not redeem itself. It's not enough to quickly play a move that appears good and await the opponent's mistake. In chess, fighting spirit is allowed, but creativity is a must. So Palatnik is black, okay? e4, d6, d4, knight f6, knight c3, knight bd7, knight f3, e5, and here guys, since he didn't play g6, and I don't know if, no, I don't think he will play it, this could be a kind of Philidor, right? So, a Philidor defense. Why do I try to guess the opening? Because once you guess the opening, you know what you have to do. For example, if this is a Philidor, the thing I want to do is to exchange everything in the center, exchange the queens, he will have his king in the center, and then we see who is the best endgame player, okay? But let's see what White does, because I'm sure that he knew his job. I mean, he must have been a very strong player, this Andrews. Bishop c4, bishop e7, bishop b3. Bishop b3 doesn't make much sense. c6. I don't know. It seems he made this this thing, but sorry guys, here there is clearly an immediate this. Here it doesn't say anything, but this is what I would have played, because you see after this there is this. And you say, so what? Wait a minute, what does he do? If he goes here, oops, so he cannot go there, right? Let's say if he goes here, he's blocking totally the rook, no? If he goes here, again this, so the only move he has in reality is this, right? And then I go here. And if he does this, I go here. So he cannot do that. Yeah, he must do that. Boom. So this is not the Philidor, this is the Black Lion, because I think I saw this line taught by Grandmaster Williams in a chess-based DVD, I think. So imagine the mess, imagine the mess. Now, I'm not saying that Black will not recover the material, okay? He will recover the material, but imagine what a mess I have created inside Black's territory. I mean, it's a mess. For me, I would take this position every day against everybody, because I think I have good chances. As you can see, you cannot go automatically when you watch a game, and you must ask yourself some questions. If you don't ask yourself questions, guys, you are wasting your time. So it was bishop b4, bishop e7, and this guy played bishop b3. It doesn't make any sense. Why bishop b3? Boom, go here, no? This is also, you see, guys, you need to have watched some games by Tal. Tal would go in automatic on f7 and would have played it, I'm sure, right away. So bishop b3, not a great move, but here he doesn't comment about that. c6. Now things are changed. Keep in mind, things are changed, because now if he plays knight, the thing that I just told you, with a c6 he can escape and go out. So it's not the same. As you can see, sometimes you have one chance only, and you need to take it. Like life. a4. Here it says, it is useful to play this move now, otherwise Black will have the opportunity for counterplay on the queen side by b7, b5. Okay, of course. So it's interesting also this. He has taught us that when you play c6, you want to play this because you want to challenge Black expansion on the queen side at any cost, right? And here again, queen c7, okay, queen e2, castle, and bishop g5. And here there is a diagram. Here it says the typical quick move of a chess professional that cannot be called a mistake. However, at the same time, we cannot say that this is an undoubtedly useful move that helps improve the position. Now, let's talk about the responsibility taken on by such a decision. White uses all tempo, and he must be sure that it is used with a positive effect. But in some cases, the bishop may be attacked by the h6 pawn, thus reinforcing the defense of a g5 square with tempo. In addition, if in the given condition the knight would have liked to join the attack on the key f7 pawn, or at least to have the opportunity to make such a threat, then at this point he would have no better option than perhaps to saddle the bishop, occupying a g5 square. So he says this bishop g5 must be fought well. Okay. But honestly, he didn't tell us what else. Okay, after 9 bishop g5 there is b6, castle, and e6. Very interesting pawn formation. Here he played rook a d1, and he gave a dubious move to this move, saying this move, which is again natural but at least premature, allows Black to advance b6, b5. without defining where the c8 bishop will go. Otherwise he would have forced to play bishop b7. It's a trifle, but still nice. Okay. Okay. So let's see, b5. And another dubious move. Rook d2. Here he says, what other play could be called so direct? And now black plays h6. Here it says, it's time to require that the white bishop fulfills the promises it made with its move. This is the most favorable moment since the bishop cannot retreat along its starting diagonal. And on the h4 square, it will irritate the f3 knight. Okay, so guys, do you know why it cannot retreat back on its diagonal? So why it cannot play this? Probably because knight g4 and the attack's the same, and so you cannot escape. So he played bishop h4, rook e8, and here there is another move that is dubious, king h1. Here he says, after this strong, practical and useless move, the black knight has time to relocate to the king's side. And one can say that black fully realizes the potential opportunities of the Philidor defense in this game. Knight f8, d takes e5, d takes e5, bishop g3, and knight g6. And now there is a very interesting move by white which exploits a pin. Knight d4. You cannot take. Why? Because otherwise it takes your queen. He says this move was made not out of belief in a comfortable future, but rather, first of all, to ensure that this knight is not lonely in the king's stable. And here, what would you play if you were black? Because the next move he put an exclamation point, which means it's a good one. He played bishop b4. He says the glory of a successful neutralization of a knight on c3 should be rightfully shared with François Philidor and Dr. Sibert Tarash. Okay, a takes b5, the only move. He says if rook fd1, bishop takes c3, b takes c3, c5. Oh, okay, he gives a line, okay? And a takes b5, rook d3, knight f4, attacking the rook, bishop takes f4 because it's not doing anything but bishop, e takes f4, and now f3. And here you can see a diagram. Why there is a diagram? Because, guys, you need to find the next move by black. So what do you think black played? Black played bishop f8. He says this calming and surprisingly very useful move creates unstoppable threats to gain a significant advantage. The game is basically decided. Queen d1, bishop a6, obviously threat is this, and he will get something. Knight c e2, white fixed the placement of his pieces, which were ready to be strung on a skewer along the h6 and f1. Here there is a mistake, h1. He wrote h1, but he means f1 diagonal. Okay, let me correct this mistake. f1 diagonal. Because otherwise it would be a8 h1. Okay, but here it's a6 f1, like a shish kebab. So it's practically imagining the little metal rod that you put for a shish kebab. But the flexible pawn chain creates many other problems for the opponent, which are already unresolvable. So what did black play at this point? He played c5, and here he gives as evaluation that black has a decisive advantage. Why? Because after there is c4 and it's game over, right? So after c5 there is rook d2, c takes d4, knight takes d4, b4, threatening this, rook e1, rook a d8, knight f5, rook takes d2, queen takes d2, rook d8, and queen f2. And here there is another diagram. Here, what would you play if you were black? If I may give you a hint, is the following. The environment is a little finish here, right? Okay, so let's see what is black to do at this point. He plays bishop c8. This is the move. It is useful to exchange the only active piece and force the opponent to admit the inevitable. Queen h4, bishop takes f5, e takes f5, and now there is bishop c5. The example of the fate of this bishop shows that in life there are cases that even the beautiful sometimes limp. And here practically the game finished. Why did he finish? Do you know why, guys? Because black has a piece advantage, right? He has one horse ahead of black. And then, of course, also maybe the pawn formation has a value, but I think the main idea is the material advantage. I hope that you enjoy this game from the Chess GPS, Volume 2. There is also a Volume 3, and so eventually I will show you game also from that book. Thank you.